I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Let me put this down. How is everyone have been doing of this life? I have just to say from the beginning. I have to get used to working from 9 to 5 again. Does this work? I always thought if this works at the beginning of the stream. It does. But I have to get used again to working. I've had 2 months of... I think I said a few times. But... like... I had plenty of time, like I had a holiday of like 2 months in summer. And I had plenty of like free time, and now I have to like work from 9 to 5 because I have internship. Or at least 9 to 4 or 5, around that time. And... it doesn't also help, I think, that I recorded like, I saw a game pop up in my YouTube again. I was like, oh, that's actually a fun game, I have to play it. I recorded. But I was expecting a 50 minutes of gameplay, and it ended up being a 2-hour video. And it just up to being a 2-hour video. And I'm still debating, like, should I make parts of it, at least it in parts, or just as one full video? Because I think it is not like a video that you watch, you know, for the visual experience. It's more a video that you put up open on a site and listen to it. Not to watch. The only thing that changes on screen actually is the questions that I give. It's like a game called The Test. But that game left me so amazed. Just think, like, that game described me perfectly. By just asking a simple set of questions. Well, simple. Not all of them are that simple, and some of them even are like, what? You asking, but so I had like recorded that, and I put it like together with like an auto screen. It was like, yeah. I'm still debating, like, it's a 2-hour video. Let me open it up. Let me search for it. Let me look. It is a 2-hour and 4-minute video, which currently contains like, it's basically a stream worth of content. And it's like, wait, that is 2.43 gigs? What? What's the longest video I have currently recorded? Oh ja, mijn 3 keer geen, wait. This video is like an hour, and that's like... This video is an hour and 7 gig, what? This went turned to 2 gigs. I was like looking yesterday at the recording, and I was like curious about the properties it has, or how big the file size is since it's a 2-hour recording. It was 13 gigs, and now it says it's 2 gigs. Did it get compressed? It got compressed because I edited it. 60 frames a second. Data rate's like to, I guess. I have to say it's probably worth 2 gigs because not that much changes on screen, so the video doesn't have to like render everything in case to my 3 scary games, but oh well. But it was a game who left me amazed, quite damn amazed. But besides like doing that, I've recorded all of my Modern Warfare 2 veteran campaigns, and I want to start. I think World at War in November, or around November. At least next week I'm gonna start Metro Exodus, because I want to play the game, because I bought it in January since my birthday, and like at internship. Did I buy it yes? No, I think about last year. Was that this year? No, that was last year. Yeah, I bought it this January. Since like my internship, my school education internship got me like little gifts from Steam cards. It looked fun to play. I never installed it, so I installed it, and I'm gonna play it next week. I hope that I have like, I hope, and generally hope that I have removed most of the frame rate issues. There will be probably a few left, but I don't know too much. Like, I was like loading all those frame issues. It was like loading the Internet Explorer or something. It's really bad. Like... So... And... yeah. But, since my internship is busy and I wanted to have time to do, you know, to prepare Metro Exodus to make sure it's frame laggy free. I decided to at least finish game number 1 of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series. Because I think there is a game number 2 and 3. And I wanted to finish the case at least. That would have been stuck on for like 3 to 4 streams. I know how much, but it's been a long one. And I don't know how much I could puzzle. Because I had like an internship day of at least 9 to 4. And I've been rained wet, soaked wet, you know, because it was rainy all day in the Netherlands. So if I sneeze during this thing, okay, then apologies. And it also starts to feel that I like when I have throat issues. My throat starts to feel hurty, so gonna see how often that brings up. So let me go to this screen. This screen. Let me close this. Let me remove this. Now, let me remove this. And let me get my keyboard and my let me get my where's my microphone? There's my microphone. Let me get that. Let me put you here. So Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So I just wanted to finish that, at least have a chill time and talk a lot, but I don't know if my voice can handle it. I've been singing like in the past few days on the train station because I felt like it. And I have to practice my singing voice if I want to become an idol, after all. But well. But we're on the final day of the trial. And now it's I think really hard, and I don't want to like it. February 25, 9:47 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Right, but there's no defendant. I'm trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh, hey, Edgeworth. Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 777 ID number is, that is. Oh, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding the ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from the list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. Ooh. But she didn't do it! I figured you say as much. That's why I came here. To hear what you have to say. First time you've ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. Truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid, today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to remind us about the past. It depends on you. If she's found guilty, you lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Kent has on her, it's now. I always want to court people be like Court is now searching for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. And it's ready. Prosecution is ready. You know what I always like wonder? What do I wonder actually? What I want to say? I had something in mind, but I completely forgot. You say that it's not important. I was like, I wondered something, but I forgot. Normally this is when the prosecution puts forth his opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Kent. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Urgy, been back to the full yet? No, I've been down enough in my this in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Oh, the music stops. Lana, that's so to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? I haven't heard what she intends to say. I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? Okay, guys, that was the stream. We can back. Gewoon. That's a fun day. I'll see you all next week. No. Confess to all charges again. On February 21 of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot on the prosecutor's office. No, okay, we get back. We get back. Okay, I hear case over. I hear case over. We can go home. You can't. Your Honor, the defendant claims does not change the defense plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your service. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven the case through the testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. The request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. Can be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. One moment, Your Honor. Side word. Prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage will certainly be premature. Come now, Wrighty. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for you, Tone, Chief Kent. What? Created another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the native little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edwards, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. You talk to the hands, bitch. And I get what you think, Miss Sky. The exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it will be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Kent? Worthy, you live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Dr. Edwards has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma. I'm a Sky. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Drake on the Joe Dark. Why is it called Joe Dark? Like, why Dark? I'll stop calling him Drake. In the Joe Dark killings. Is it that's correct? Yes. trying my hardest to forget about it. Well, I'm sorry. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Miss Ashworth, please remember that the trial confronts the murder of Detective Goodman on an incident that was resolved 2 years ago. Really all that relevant? Yes, most certainly is. Okay then. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. New Marshal rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. A man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edward, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? I will soon become a parent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage considering there's no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. What do I cross-examination? Years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, he was the second in command under the deputy chief of police Kent. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Kent and this guy used to be quite a pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I always sit at my sister's desk. And dream about playing the organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Anna promised to take me to dinner after he finished their work. A man came running in and took me hostage. Man? Yes, Joe Dark. And he was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning the day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Kent's office. I heard a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. New Marshal rescued me. What was the prosecutor doing there? The day there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Kent and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. I almost forgot about Kent. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to questioning room after the ceremony. This would also be why I was first to run after Dark. And Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I never forget what I saw in that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Drake just then. The lights went out. Lights? It's just about this time of the year, you know. It's rainy, thundery, stormy. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was a pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lighting flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image on the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. Detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman. The victim. I'm gonna save a lot, tra la 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 la. Cause I don't wanna lose progress, tra la 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 la. So I spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago. Yes, it was just scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but At the time the watches wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. Picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Oh, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? I actually want to ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. The list of evidence we given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if you were added the statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I did a picture of that scene one, but it seems to have been lost. I have it. It was in this list of evidence, right? Yeah. This is the picture. Wait, I just want to be sure. I just want to be sure. That's his picture, so... Mr. Edward. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you wouldn't insist on denying its existence? Oh! Hey! I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handling such a picture. It may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold. This is the evidence list from the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over. Oh, what's this? Why is it on sideways? That. Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutors in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists? They're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edwards, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edwards, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? What? Order. But Miss Guy, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because of Detective Goodman handed me in the grocery room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Let's wait a minute. No. Let's wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor! Are you alright, Miss Wright? Nah, I'm feeling like a bit tired, you know, from days of work, but... If the evidence list was torn in half, there might be more on the drawing of the back of Mr. Edwards' list. That's quite conceivable. Mr. Edwards? Possible. Let's see. Something wrong? Even have to ask. Sorry, Your Honor. There's indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that thing? When you finally think you're done with that stupid little cardboard that comes back to haunt you. That's that thing. Evidence room. Clearly this is acts of vandalism and the work of a certain chief of detectives. I had the other half of the list as evidence, right? Oh. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about the picture you drew 3 years ago? Oh yes, sir, Your Honor. I want to see that picture. Really, the blue barrier? Wait. Is it? Hmm. You're thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Wait, wasn't the blue badge invented? This is a picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright I could see white shadows. After that I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. A eager flash of lightning can burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Oh, I don't see any contradictions here. Clearly shows Joe Dark about the murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. Offense may now begin its cross-examination. Do I? Do I want to begin? Do I? Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. During that time the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Sky. 2 or 3 days later. The memory should still be fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. My throat. I think I'm gonna lose my voice soon. So at the time you didn't even know it was Marshall who came to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright and I was knocked to the floor. Knocked to the floor. Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around. And that's when the lightning flashed. Poor Emma, I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. Count how many times I saved during one streak. What happened after the lightning flashed? After that I must have fainted. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? Oh, sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness of a split second. Not only that, but the drama of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. You really need to torture this girl any further? Ah! Hey, I'm not a bad guy here. Anyway, this picture. Sorry for asking so many times, but was you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course! This is the exact scene! Wasn't it influenced in any way or form if you talked with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. Better watch out or we might find some way to cut my salary. I did this picture before I heard anything from the detectives. So I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh well. Strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. What's the contradiction then? Was it this? Oh wait! Do we have the picture? No, not the glove. Oh, this is a floor plant. This is Lana Sky. Parking lot floor plants. Like, what would be contradiction? Incident numbers SL9, poor potato Joe Drake, crime serial murder sentence dead. Victims Jones, Kirby, Bates, Knight, Moss, Marshall. And prosecutor Thomas Edwards, witness Lana Sky, Emma Sky. Accused investigation, them again, Lana Sky, head investigation. Stabbed in the back, tied from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. And is dit a contradiction? I hate to be bearer of the bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. Ah! I still remember just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if what part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Well. Station the victim is standing in. Let's see what's so strange about it. Because the drowning stinks. Just sniff. Oh, not load. Save. It is the position, right? Contains a blatant contradiction. What? Is that right? Perhaps it would be better if you simply pointed out the contradiction for us. Contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see the tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, look at evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. That's a conclusive piece of evidence to prove Joe Drake was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. I'm afraid so. Could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand? Sorry, but I'm afraid it's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it could possibly wind up there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was unanimously discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness' memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. That's the first, Mr. Edward. There's another explanation. Have you forgotten already? Forgotten about what? I forgot it. Can you lie to me? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're trading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. Ugh! Order! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. In my belief that somewhere in this story, there's a lie. I'm not lying! Man really was holding up a broken knife. If that is true, and there's no other way around it, this could not have been the actual murder weapon. It must have been another broken knife. There's a chance of being 2 broken knives. Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There was one if I remember correctly. If the witnesses did adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can just be explained away by a simple observational error. Right. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder is only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Is it? Yeah. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. The picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edward? It's just the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall was holding. One broken knife. That's broken knife. As he earlier concluded that the knife in the drum was not Joe Dark's knife, that being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award he was given a broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in a dangerous situation. But that can be. Oh, why not Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murder and the victim would have been reversed. What do you mean? I mean, the man raising the knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Contradicting each other, I see. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Just now hold it. Wait, I remember now, I remember everything. Witness, Mr. Edward. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? This list? The one with the picture scribbled on the back? I knew it! This picture! I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. Elis wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. And there comes this music again. Just imagine being a sound designer and have to listen to this all day. Be like, dun, 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 dun. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Guy? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up and now the blue badger. Should be interesting. When I saw the man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. This time with another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw a shadow. So Neil was holding the knife. Oh. Oh no. Emma killed. Oh. Oh. Not the most unusual. How impossible? The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. That's why the defense may now begin its cross. Stop! Please! Don't pursue this any further! Anna? What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this, already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Give Prosecutor Sky. We've already come to this far. Too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bev, please detain the defendant. Seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Push Neil when you killed him. I saw the man raises his knife. I saw the mean, I assume you refer to Joe Dark. Yes, at least I think it was him. Think? All I could really see were shadows. Power outage that immediately preceded the incident. It also documented in the prosecutor's office report. So then you... I panicked and rushed towards both of them. Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? I was about to stab Mr. Marshall. I'm convinced the Dark was the one holding the knife. If you just theorized. Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Oh, I didn't know at the time. When the Dark guy knocked me down. All I could think was I've got to help the other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. What do you mean you think? It's all happened so fast and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did is all kind of a blur. This guy was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. So much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person. My thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What did you was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? Just then there was another flash of lightning and that's when I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this? Of course! See? Even threw a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought of this hideous beast. And it was just this year. Blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. It's all quite terrible. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised when I saw them at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I've seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember. Oh brother, just when you thought the thing caused more pain. When it's haunting our dreams. And it's haunting our dreams. No. That was. When in this room did you see him dancing? I wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw a shadow. Shadow? So you mean didn't actually see his face when I was winning to smell and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. The thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must have been mistaken. It may well be. But the disappointment what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? So then by all means please tell us what the shadow really was. What was Emma saw in the lightning flash? Is this blue badger really? Do I know what it is? I actually have no clue. Oh. This is for rotation buttons. Oh, I think... Is it? Is it? Is this it? Maybe hadn't even been dreamed up when Emma drew this picture. As she saw the shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, the defense believes that only the fateful day 2 years ago indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that's now sitting in this very room. Is that right? This room for Rome is that right? What is it that would have saw in this instant? I have a hunch. I was correct! This. But this... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. I understand now it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this. Boom. You think this is it? This has to be at the... This... No, no, no. I was never gonna put this! I didn't want to press. Oh. I've shown him the correct angle for which this stupid little thing. Where's the... Like you can put them like... You know, like this. Because those things will be at the bottom, so... You would assume these will be at the top. Right? Oh wait, we can do... Oh wait. No, I don't know. I mispressed. I don't know the pussy. I don't know the pussy, goddammit. Doesn't help that the E is in between the Q and R, so... Like, this would be a starting point. It's just like playing, you know, playing with that, like, thing from, like, Mario Party where you have to copy Bowser's face. I think this is it. This is right. God damn it. God damn it. Do I have to get like all 3 bubbles? Is that right? No. This is hard, god damn it. This is really hard. If I put it like this, would that count? No. How can I make like this look like blue badger? How the heck can I make this look like a blue badger? Or does it really have to be like this? And the other way around. Also, isn't right? What? How can I make it look like a jar like that? Oh, and I have to listen to it. I think these will go on top, these two. For example, what if you just put them at the bottom? And just go like... Like we have the two, these two side bubbles, but... I really think it needs to be like this. In some shape of way. This music doesn't help. Like, this music doesn't help, but... I think this would be it. This also be it? Ah! How the fuck am I gonna make this star look like a stupid dented cardboard with like annoying music? If I understand like something happens if I like put this one up. Like, my question is today... I'm really confused. Like, I'm like, honestly just confused. I can make a jar like this look like a stupid garden. This is to do something with the blood. What do you say? 2 pieces of water, huh? What happens if I... Remind the defense in case of witness wrong, so it can match the shape the witness cannot accept this claim. Oh, I don't get a penalty from this? Oh. I'm gonna hate this music so much. I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna be sitting in my... I'm gonna go to sleep tonight and I'm gonna be like... Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna hear this all night. You know, you have like in theme parks, you have that like a few attractions have like the catchy music. And you only have to say the phrase, you be like, you know that attraction? Or you know that ride? And you be like, oh, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's how this feels. How do I match it? Like... This only rotates, it's like... this. Whee! How's something like that looking? It is clear that if I probably want to match it, if I want to match those 2 bubbles on the side, that I probably have to do this. Not googling it, because if I click away, as you can see my mouse go away. So I think, because otherwise you can do it like this. That makes more sense. But that requires you to make that like this then. Oh, this isn't right. I never looked at this thing. When I thought that this jar would be like, haha, you can prove that this jar is the blue badger, and I'm like sitting here. Why did I accept this job? Why did I go to do this? Okay, let's think. Which my brain can't do at this point anymore. Want dit eruit? Wat do you mean? What do you mean dat was eruit? This looks really like him, right? Or am I getting crazy now? Might be getting crazy. Oh. Oh. Legitimate! Take it. Oh, I see. Char's resemblance to the blue badger. I hate it. No. Can be. Order! The defense have proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Oh no, we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, and one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So the badger thing was actually just a jar. It doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Wright. You see? This changes everything. Indeed, well, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? Is it the location? I think it's the location. The murder weapon doesn't change because we know it's the knife from this. So it also don't change the rules of murderer because that's probably changed for unlikely location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murderer, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, it might add Mr. Wright. Now knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Dalman again. And the body was found laying near Lana's sky desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and those two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Grant's office. Are you implying that the murderer moved the victim's body from Diamond Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness' testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? It would have been the impact that the man made with these knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked into the direction of the shelf, the jar was sitting on it, what would he have hit? Ah! A suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. And since the man was knocked into the armor and was carrying a broken knife, would have had to been Neil Marshall winning the knife of prosecutor's trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility was actually transpired in the room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator will have no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If the event took place as the defendants theorize, then the outcome was obvious. In that moment, assuming that the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually prosecutor Neil Marshall, then Emma killed prosecutor Neil Marshall. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! All stood account. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. That was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. Isn't predicted. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances... Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall! How can you think it was Emma? And then you try to pin the crime on her. I imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Mr. Edwards, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence to prove my sister killed Miss Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it is certain it would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If you don't have evidence, then we have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. Certainly can't get dead people to testify. It's all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. You shame this guy? Of course. Only leave us with one possibility. You mean, Mr. Edward? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Miss Marshall did not die instantly. The mayor left behind the name of the person who took his life. And one matter or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I'll put that thing back to the court record. And is any evidence? And is any evidence? This message from the deceased is already in a possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister is a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. And then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the dead. This is a message left by the deceased. That's the blue badge from before, right? Oh, is it going to just speak the killer name? If that's thinking, I'm sure it would. Thanks, everyone's just forgotten this just a jar. Message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason the blood on some of the fragments were not wiped away. There's a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is that these dots were once aligned. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that somehow apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar when the lines changed directions. Precisely so, all we need to do is connect these points. And the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Blood was named was used in. I got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. And I can't connect it to this one. It is the defense and attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why I've been thinking about saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. And this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma's guy. See, Worty, can't say I didn't warn you! Chief Kent, you understand the implications of what you've done. What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Yes, Worty, because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used false evidence to ensure his conviction. That Joe Dark really was a serial murder, that's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We are merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there was any cover-up evidence of forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on in the prosecutor? They might have sent an innocent man to his death? How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, order, order! Order! Ears pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued? There is more? There is more? There's more? Sorry, Edward. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I'll come back later. Hey, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run around on duty. And on top of you coming here, I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, Paul. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edward was talking about just the other day. What's to the rules of evidence law? Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. So right, Mr. Wright? Think so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. Message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him? I guess I'll need to give this book to a friend. Doesn't look like that book do you any good now, though. I have to read? Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Oh. And that's all. All that left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's very wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? I'm still sitting in a prosecutor's seat. Despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Is that what? The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What else is there left to do? Credibility's been all in room with this fourth evidence you've been aware of. And Miss Sky found out she was immediately caused the man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? Gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. He merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25, 1 p.m. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana's guy. Mr. Edward. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your action. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls for the witness. But, cough. This isn't an easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edwards, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witness? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defendants to call forth all further witnesses. Right, but there's no precedence for what you're proposing. And then I read this an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. If I would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses... Very well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Unbelievable! He's giving me all the unlimited power. Edwards has found a way to continue this trial. Very well. The defense has accepted the prosecution's proposal. And it's settled. The defendants may now call for the next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Defense calls... Damon Kent. The defense calls Damon Kent to the stand. Damon Kent? What does that have to do with anything? As the defendant partner 2 years ago, Miss Kent has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. It would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Hello. Alright. Bailiff, please escort Miss Kent to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? Or is this on my way to lunch? Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, huh? Please, Miss Kent. Fine. My name is Damon Kent. I'm the acting chief of police. And in Chief Kent, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the crim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered the prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that the police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is this true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with a certain risk. Oh, don't worry. I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, he slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she already had arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with forgery. Is someone dark was arrested? Was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. The police chief has the right to refuse to testify, and I better hit him hard and fast. Can I press him, or not even that note? I know that you were questioning him that day. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right, I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning this award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Emma, was the defendant Lana's guy also present in the room? I don't quite remember. Oh, the very least she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power didn't help either. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that! The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went to his heart though. Not funny. When I went to my office I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? I was just shocked inside. Neil and the serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he did his head when he was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana and Emma. Lana was cuddling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, I must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently she already arranged the crime scene. You know that? Because of the victim's body. It's already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Doesn't make you like seeing that accepted. Can I prove that he has something to do with forgery? I didn't meant to forging evidence, but it can be the whole truth. Somehow I've got a link into the incident. There's no evidence shall be shown with the approval of the police department. No, that is against the rules because it was shown by the police department. So you're saying that the forgery was already taking place by the time you arrived at the office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have failed. But moving a body and hiding evidence are excusable no matter what the circumstances. That really went down. Starting another witness won't do you any good, Mr. Ed. If you're going to stare at anything, you better be staring off at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. Which parts of evidence guys get to forgery? Evidence, but it can be the whole truth. Is it the evidence list? Yeah, it is. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list for example. This list has a mosquito picture on. It was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but the piece of jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. Was found where? You see, Chief Kent, those articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Kent, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rifle Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Oh, me? Or do you mean you? Me? What had anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only one capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, though? However, Detective Grimshaw wasn't present during the investigation. Where's he, my boy? Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Dick should salary tops any further rental paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Let's see, what was it now? Oh, a jar fragment or list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participated in any forgery. Rearranging the crimes wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You wanna understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? The day is, well, you know. Alright, Dirty, and return though. I know. The place, right? Huh? What are these guys? Telepathic. I appreciate if you stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? Have you know, back in the day I once spoken to a cattle ranger tip. Is that right? What are you saying? Anyway, you can prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? Miles! I'm talking about when those prints are found. Yes, if they are found inside my safe. It would prove his investigation was illegal. I never faced anyone as slim as this guy. Anyway, you can prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. It's concealing evidence found at the crime scene isn't forgery. I'm not true speaking yet, right though? It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless! Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not, and after all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, we could have said it materialized the days after Dake was sentenced. Oh, wouldn't that be convenient? Right? The chief is talking about the possibilities so long as you can't rule that out. The remarks however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. That was something I don't know. Come now, Raito, think about it. There's no reason I participated in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Miss Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma's guy. Well, now do you see? The rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Wouldn't it make you lose your partner? Really, Chief Kent? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is its benefit? That would of course be the position you have. Chief of Police. Oh? The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient move. Oh, there. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without a case, already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the National 9 merely sped up the inevitable. Little. That's the right word. Yes, I was going to be the main chief anyway. Yeah. Careful when pointing that finger. Well, you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Warty. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Urgently, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? Well, please do. If there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours, truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think you felt sorry for her, you better be thinking again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Die thoughts. I'm crying met ook on people. That's how I was raised. You shouldn't relax enough on yourself, though. Oh, ho, ho. That's a good one, Wardy. Could I have been something in it for him? Given your selfness, wouldn't you have someone else? He would help Lana out. And by giving Lana position in like as chief prosecutor, he would have power there. So there was in it something for him. So you might not help out anyone for their sake, but as would benefit you might decide to assist someone. Is that right? Fish, you are positively determined to portray the chief. Is an iron one who likes to land people an end? That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Kent may have helped forge evidence? Oh? Chief Prosecutor Talana Sky? A defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? As for Chief Kent, he would also have the reason to help Lana if she asks him to. The reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit, what do you mean? After the S09 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Kent. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. You mean to tell me that despite the Chief formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? You do? Oh wait! He must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assist Lana Sky in forging evidence. You motive to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Right so, my boy, you have quite an imagination. I do have quite an imagination. I do. I do. I do. Let me ask you something. What? You have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she's testifying against Gent. I'm afraid without any proof, it is all announced for nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that's also what happened in this incident. Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Ruth Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Warty, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Yes, what do you mean? What he means is, Your Honor, isn't that Chief Kent is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. Order, order! I said, order! Mr. Wright, you can be serious. Huh? This joke. The camera's over there. You see? Camera's over there. This is an affront to the highest ranked officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? This is impossible. Your Honor, I was merely retiring. The mistake was said in an easy to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. He approved this, Mr. Wright, that the chief as a high-ranking officer of this law is involved in his murder. I can. Regardless of his rank or title, Jeff Kent is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. I have one clue, and I have one suggestion that might be it. Here is the evidence that contains... Well... This is the ID card list. Yeah, the one that shows what entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine. The owner of yesterday. 777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safety chief against offers require a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777777. Same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. I was right! Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright to be punished for the maximum extent of law. But right now this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Wonder if it's the evidence room or the bedroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere where I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bedroom alone, as I do at the evidence room. The evidence room would have to happen to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I haven't seen him in days. You haven't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you just don't know yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goulman. What do you mean? Now, what do you mean? I'm talking so much, I don't have a voice tomorrow. Try up a person to determine Lana's guy's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. It's trial's purpose to determine the truth. If Chief Kent met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. This proves that the victim went to meet Chief Kent on the day of the crime. Can I prevent that? I honestly have no clue. more sleep than this. On the day, I'm meant to go to see Chief Kent. Don't interrupt your mumblings. Court is waiting. So it is not the paper. Why would Detective Goodman want to meet? Why would Chief Kent meet Someone lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. Was I right? Am I right? Detective Moon filled in a lost item report. You would have to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of that report, which means you can be sure he filled it in. He filled it in. I don't know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Kent. Then, you accomplished the detective into the evidence room. I accompanied him? I probably said that completely wrong. There's no other way the murderer and the detective could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I'm the Chief of Police murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait, Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. Could have just lent him his ID card. Yes? Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of that sort. You just clearly made that up on point. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record list, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Woodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Are we gonna do a Naruto style? Chief Kent, you did it? The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did you manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Tell you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just wanted an officer to do it? And you take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office? I don't think so. Chief Kent, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all the time I thought that was just useless clue just taking up space. This is a useless clue. This one. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us the evidence. To move the victim's body, chief can't use this. This is how I moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? Screwdriver? And what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edwards, think back to the day of the crime. What is the screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Kent, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. I'm in any case on the day of the stabbings and brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did. Because Chief Kent asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car. I think that's obvious what happened. The body was moved by the car. Detective Goodman's body carried in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car? Yes. Unless of course, You have another explanation, Chief? Oh yes, what you have asked Mr. Edward to transport evidence from a closed case. There's only one plausible explanation. You killed Mr. Goodman. Na 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 na. Transport the body to your compete. It's Lana Sky. Order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph we started to get the prosecutor's office. This was another photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. The photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Kent, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up. Sorry, writer, but I'm having lunch with the district attorney general after this. You have to get going if you want to make the time for the early bird special. The cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? I can go where I want. Oh, I didn't remember what you told. I didn't tell you. You have all kind of weapons. Are you gonna shoot me down? You gonna gun me down? Huh? As a police chief has all kind of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? There's not a right to be casual invoked? There are certain risks to be considered. Or are you going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed all Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented by now. Well, You think I had landed dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get over with it. I don't want to get over with it. I'll say it again, Mr. Knight. I'm going to secure in chief of police. I'm not only throwing accusations. Oh, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof the chief can murder this Detective Goodman made Miss Sky dispose of his body. Do I have? Do I have proof? Like, what did I open? Oh wait, that's... What if this would succeed? It would leave everyone who was involved in, you know, the S9 incident to be gone. That's it. I did save, right? Did I? I'm not sure. I'm gonna save again. Every time Elis saves her game, take a shot. Let him just squirm his way out of this. Let's just keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I have to do as such evidence. This is represented. Just remember, better proof Chief Kent murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of doubt. I have one shot at this. Dark 657. It's proof. As to whether or not it's enough to do some of the Chief's guilt. Let you be the judge. I am the judge. Alright, what do you think, Your Honor? I have no use showing evidence if not sure of myself. No, Your Honor, I presented no conclusive evidence. CRG. In that case, the court is forced to penalize you for... What? Is it tip? Never gamble what you can afford to lose, right, though? Seems that Lady Lucky was on my side again today. Okay, RG, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront of senior office in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Any luck? Then we should have ordered her. Then what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the reason truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of her in her testimony. Lady who knows the truth? Not a witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. Chief Kent has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions. There is in this trial someone right in this very room. Mr. Edward, who is this person? Are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? Lana Sky. The defendant. Lana Sky. She was in an underground parking lot at 5:15 PM on February 21. It has to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with the search and someone's orders. Edward, prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes we will reconsider the defendant's testimony. The court is now Hold on, huh? Chief Kent? I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. Taken to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this. Accept Mr. Wright's claim. There will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. And of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyways, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay, if there aren't any objections, this court is now recessed. Looks like we're managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks for your help, Edward. The chief, he's something else, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Haha, not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, don't worry, I'm already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure, I'll take the piece of that top knotted girl you used to work with. What do you mean? Oh yeah? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. He's again done it again. Now he's always got the upper hand. Not fair that he's right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said? My chief, this is not trying to be casually invoked. There's certain risks to be considered. Risks? What do you mean by risk? Simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the officers also holds true. You mean, he forfeits his right to say anything to. Oh, Emma. Yeah, when it came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. Everything's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I've said before. Oh, don't be. That's the truth. You know, it's funny. I'm gonna feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I'm finding what really happened. I think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Kent's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. Forced herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That's why she became so cold. That's all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey! Don't blame yourself now. Want to blame anyone? Blame society, pal. If you then may be able to fool everyone else with a forgery, you can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No! I'm going with you. I want to be there. And Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? Time to end this. And still, to be continued again? I've been already like 3 or 4 streams busy with this case alone. Never ending. It's never ending. Never. 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant Ms. Lana Sky please take the stand? This case is never gonna end. Ms. Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're all aware of what is required of you. Ms. Edwards, I already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you're under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. Truth. Lana! No matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Kent. Everything hints on your testimony. The only chance we have to get to Kent. Kent and the fabrication. I worked alongside Kent for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated evidence 2 years ago by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. I had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to no capital offense. Of course I'm sure. Lama! This is true, and that means Chief Kent has nothing to do with this. Listen, I'm telling you from the beginning, you're lying. I know it. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. If she speaks so swiftly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. There's no time to start second-guessing myself. Let me now begin his cross-examination. I've worked alongside Kent for years. 20 years exactly. Ever since I made senior detective. I see I was 24 then, so it would be 5 years. Don't give Kent and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. This had been good coming from the same school as me, eh? Damon Kent was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much as yesterday in jail. I don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present to court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Your Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want the incident to ruin our life. But what she did was usable self-defense. Couldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I could never get him. Lana? So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. A broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? The prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. It's only a situation you dreamed was possible. In reality, it was my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Bente says all you want, Mr. Wright, but I never changed his statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happens to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, it was laying on the floor, a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her life more or less. Oh, just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound to remove the body. You planted the tip of Dark knives into the victim's wound? And then you moved the body? Why would you do that? Well, people should know, Edward. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head is that bad, but maybe I'll ask for sake for others. It is obvious. Like, it's obvious why she would move the body. Plant a knife tip. Since if Dark's knife would be found inside Neil's body, Dark would be convicted. Would be concrete evidence. So why did you move the body then? And shut up on the scene. Where exactly was the victim's body? It was very decoded. It was by Chief's gun desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason this guy moved the body? Pieces of the jar that shuddered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of jar, you mean? Yes, the wretched jar you showed us earlier. No, that showed that Dark committed a crime. What would be more expedient to move the body? So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. Must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Was it? I don't believe it. It's alright, my sister's lying. Look, she's not able to protect you to the end. The six she fabricated evidence by herself. So the jar is a contradiction. Now, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. Ideas, that's good. I know the tips of weapon found buried in the body was all we needed. Motivation was to get take. Oh, this changed the plans why you're choosing here. Interesting. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall spoke on knife as the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I thought the most effective way to get him convicted would be having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried inside the victim's stab wound. Yes. Guess I hated Dark for what he did. So... So, there is a contradiction on moving the body in the jar. Oh, it wouldn't be shattered. Because if they had a fight and Emma pushed Marshall through the armor, and Marshall got stabbed through the heart and used his blood to write on the jar, that means that he had to write on pieces. So, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a contradiction. This guy understands how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? And that truth would have to be exposed now. The past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. So, a significant contradiction with your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? You testify, and I quote, "Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? Yeah, do I have a problem with that? That's why I'm saying objection! That's why I'm saying objection. A simple oversight, really. See, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prostitute was written in his final moments. Exactly so. And that is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Huh? You couldn't have written the Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and this bloody message. Maybe missing something critical here. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, dat is me now. How long is this gonna take? I expected it to be done today. Emily noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. I mean, you're the one who wiped away the message in blood? Wasn't Chief Prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. I expected to be done today. I don't know if it's gonna make it for 3 hours. I immediately noticed blood traces on the jar, but the power was out. Your whole story already contradicts. No, the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that the thing ended up broken earlier. It doesn't look as feasible as the defense case. Hey, I feel offended. Not as was the judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? How many I would have? But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. No, you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar. Oh, if I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? Need to make up yet. No, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. Someone happened upon the scene, you lose your chance to erase the evidence. Must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you real thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in a situation? Lana? I need a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. Fragments were large, I'm sure I got them all. How could you see with the power on? It should have been pitch black in the office. The detective was always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now I'm always carrying a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. So sorry, Lana, I didn't know. I'm afraid that you was badly all this time. Not too late. Still plenty of time to make up. After we got to the bottom of this incident. And that is they will leave a permanent stain on the history of prosecutor's office. How contradiction have surfaced in her testimony? But fine, she must really care about you. Well, she's not doing this the right way. Contradiction? Yeah, it's dark in the room. How do you notice the blood traces on the jar? Where you had the pocket light, as you said. Is it so stupid as a jar again? Is it so stupid as the jar again? It's so stupid. Yeah. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Kent's safe. In Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. I really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it. But the wizard just testified she got at every last piece and wiped the blood off them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Kent got there before you. Oh. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But couldn't the defense have simply missed the piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. Well, but everyone made a mistake. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my detorters that were in my mouth all along. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way your name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying the person was Chief Kent at the time he was looking for the day downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? Question: if he did arrive there first, why didn't he hide the fact for 2 years? Oh, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No. Ah! Oh, no. Wait, I'm not the one on the trial here. David Gunt arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hit one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. Why would Chief Kent do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear what happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believes her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she brought Kent's aid. Leading in his aid, Kent helped her create evidence to incriminate Dirk. Sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine they're coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Kent's trap? Something wrong, Mr. Wright. Anna! Maybe right after all. Well, license right? This guy, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember over this guy, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Because examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well, I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's bodies impaled on the suit of armor sword. Emma and Dirk were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I raised all the evidence that linked to her murder. I had Chief Kent help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if all was really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that if only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Anna must have known. Gee, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I didn't receive a picture. I have to check my mailbox. I'll be right back. Oh. Picture from Anna. She gives to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Well, what was this? Oh. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh. Oh my. It says, actual crime scene. No other detective saw this crime scene like this. Because I contacted criminal affairs only after I've rearranged everything. There's a piece of clothes missing. It's alright. The piece cut out from his vest. Could that be clothes we found inside Jeep Kent's safe? This is a handprint, isn't it? That clothes that have fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints are yours, Emma. Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. As long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. What are you doing here? Did you do something go to lunch? Come now, RG. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. If Kent, but you know you want to make me out of the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You're already declined to testify. It means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. Must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the nose tightening around your own neck. Eric! Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even I can testify. I can still present evidence. Yeah, that's true. Right. You mean, still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone. So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you be keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall casting is that? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? It is true. I'm sure to be made out as the murderer. I can show it, but it is before the board being created. Should I do it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, Sean, I do have further evidence. Now let's then see this conclusive evidence. Evidence shows us actually murder prostitutes in Marshall. Is that a piece of leather cloth? Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloak by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Fingerprints are on these. I'm sure Raito has checked, haven't you? Well, we're Thursday. They're Miss Guys, Miss Emma's guys. What? They're mine? I really did do it. See? I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. It means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any clothes in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma's guy to Neil Marshall's death. No? Here's we have our killer. Everything hinged on that point. In that end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. What was it supposed to show? God damn it! Ugh! Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Kent. You opened my safe. I knew you took what was inside. A conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why didn't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it? That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Kent? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Looks like part of it got out for some reason. You mean you had this? You're safe? What? That means the chief of police has been concealing evidence. It's going to be the biggest scandal in the history of police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, right though? Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What do you mean, you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana. They really were manipulating her. I knew Lana! If I made it look like they blame Lei with her sister, and when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. She insisted, Miss Guy. I thought to arrange all the evidence. I had planted the knife tip in the victim's body and moved the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joan Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance! Of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work out, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. I mean, you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make a police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most leakable part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the plot of all the pieces. And if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh. Some people just don't know how to quit, do they? That's why I get 1 more item for insurance. You mean, a piece of cloth. Come on, Righto, caught it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? Do you admit to it, Chief Camp? That you were hiding this clothes you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. And I don't have to do the beating chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But my moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up, her victory is mine. I have 3 saves. Huh. Ah, it's too late to show this out, because that's everything I did. I just expect the poor girl's fingerprint. Right? Think hard of circumstances. Circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Aren't you waiting for that difference? Well, plan. Okay, it was not. No wonder I do have evidence to present now. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of victim's vest. Oh yes, at least you finally brought it out to the open. There's an handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests to be immediately sent to be lab for analyzed. The handprint on the value there must have been a strong impact for the left so clearly. You mean, it not have been forged, it must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho ho ho, you're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Right had all this time to present the evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know those fingerprints are on that? Is that right? Do you really know? Whoever this fingerprint belonged to must be the real murderer. What fingerprints are they? Very well. I tell you. Could be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Emma? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma, but why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, ho, ho! You're really something, Raito. You know this girl did it all along. You still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove prostitute Mars to this death. How could you, you monster? Miss Sky, you know whose fingerprints are all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ah, but I'm afraid it's over, my boy. Not only this trial. But your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. And my friend is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'm with your badge, boy. What's the matter, kid? Got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? What's that? Who really killed prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? Sam Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, the piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? Contradiction? Yeah, contradiction, like past 2 hours have been. What is that fool babbling about? I'm talking about the contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief, can't you try no regime ends here? Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Is it this evidence law, huh? Ho ho ho! It's fun watching you squirm, Raito. This piece of evidence does indeed seem to contradict something. The outward appearance of mental sanity. What? Huh? What's for blabbing about? What does it contradict then? What exactly is this supposed to be? This is a picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. Even if the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes? The shirt is showing underneath. Hard to make out with all the blood on his vest though. Exactly my point, his chest is soaked with blood. Not only natural, his lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth... Wait, there's no blood on it. Arrgh! Since MSK's fingerprints are on his clothes, there's no doubt that she solved the prosecutor outside. However, his marshal was not impaled on a sword at the time. Now that's nonsense. Now then, Chief Kent, let me ask you something. It's not over yet. Prosecutor the marshal was not impaled when he was shoved aside. Most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lance Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armorer's sword? The man who looked like an ammo was responsible for the prosecutor's death. That person proceeded to write his name on the jar, the victim's blood, and the jar then broke on the purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted, only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Now the very act of creating insurance, you prove that you are the actual murderer. Finally all over. Oh, that was close, right? You almost hit me. Sorry, but you have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of clothes? It's illegal evidence. Now you admitted that you cut it out from... Order! What nonsense is this? Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Reggie? Earlier old rights away concealed that piece of cloth. Don't you? Well, that's true. The defense had refused to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Oh ho! Oh, you really think you could beat me in court? Looks like the last laugh on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Kent's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edwards? True. Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? Seems at last. Time for my reveal plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it that you purposely... Yeah, admit. Admit. I refused to present it at one point. Ah, so the evidence is illegal. No, this isn't Mr. Kent. Huh? It is not that I didn't present evidence then. It is that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There's a certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Reggie, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. Can't really believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not a violation of the law, then do so now. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, MSK's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at this point in time, those were merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it is written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. Of course, without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here it is, the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the clothes and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was the picture presented? Shown only a few moments ago. No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, this piece of code was still meaningless. The person who gave third value as evidence was you, Cameron Kent. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this one more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of victim's vest. Oh yes! You digged your own grave. It was then that you approved this clothes as conclusive evidence. Yes, you're the chief of police, personally approved this clothes. The only person who could have got this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before the prosecutor marshal in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Diamond Kent, the killer, was you. I think he's going mentally insane. I knew I should have got rid of him. That good for nothing scum. For 2 years he was snooping around the apartment trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. My crime wasn't exactly pity. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star and convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know what he had to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to fill a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please open the investigation, Chief? You can transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker and he was taking the evidence out, he said. Not too late. I'm going to hand this over to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he comes to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. A cursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would only let more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know I might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. A bloody handprint on Detective Goomshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone had to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Can you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution car aside, how could you get this guy involved in all of this? She had as much to lose as if did the truth come out. They took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar of fragments and the blood. Yeah, it looked like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get it in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me are the same. One day you understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to get it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Reggie! What? Looks like we have to cancel the lunch date. Sorry, old friend! I'm sorry to them again. I knew that you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Archie. Thanks for all the memories though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have a right to here. And Worthy, with the two around, and go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melody sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, them and Gun betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When the trial's over, I told everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until the day. So, seems all the questions raised in the trial have been answered. Sorry, Miss Sky, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Maria thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might get to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky? And to you too, Miss Archward. You have suffered every bit as much as I have over the past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Archward. Stop it. I only did my job. Now that's this case, it seems a good self-examination in order for all of us. This guy, as your honor, you are innocent of murder. However, after the chief blackmailed you due to the fact that you still act as an accomplice. I thought I would be scared of this crime at a later day. Yes, I understand you, honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, your honor. Long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone for far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant Miss Lana Sky not guilty. I don't have a voice tomorrow, I'm already gonna know. Luckily I work at home on Thursday. That's why I can do like still up to 3 AM, 3 hours of streams. February 25, 5:03 PM, District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma! And a long face. I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. At least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, this is not it. Just now after the trial ended. Out of your eye, you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edward. You suffered bad days, you done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I'll come back later. Hey, Detective Grimshaw, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around on duty. On top of it all, you could call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I like it up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh. Are you here because you have my sister again? Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Should you be doing this? You're still on arrest, you know. Oh, I won't tell if you won't. Emma! I owe you. Apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about is keeping you from getting wrapped up in his mess. This... I asked Gen to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realized I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared that you looked at me with those eyes of you. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. It says you only do it for me. No. Oh? I turned my back on you that day. I'm hiding what I believe to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis! I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis. I always knew that one day you come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Oh, Emma. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find a way back to our rightful path. And it's from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt watching these two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right? Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding? I just came to say... Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'm going now. Mr. Edgeworth. I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We're the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't ever trust myself anymore. Chief Kent was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me? They're not the same. One day you understand, one day believe me. Oh, believe me, only just one day. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go to it alone. I do this fight criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be the truth for quite some time now. Edgeworth. Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Jeff Kent did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as prosecutor. Edgeworth, what do you understand? Emma Kent and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, are both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own I need a weapon. It may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. We were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, we were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Well, yeah, sure, go on with your conversation, wasn't listening. Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Wow. I want to check my bitch. That might mean something to you, but I don't say how it had anything to do with our partnership. Ah, it's alright. Seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I guess. Neither of us found it, so... It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edward, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened to kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you go. The end is up to you. I know. Seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what the face now? My problem. Edward, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be back to visit soon. We both have a lot to learn and catching up to. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? First book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, I'm not working off just yet, pal. Huh? This is a detective. There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, maybe okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, you had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had the wild side. Oh, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? I think I could afford it with my salary? Gotta be kidding me, pal. Thank you, Mr. Wright, you're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. I got an idea, why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys, let's go. Is this the end? I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I should be pleased to study under a top corner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. So I managed to find my ways back to the field somehow. And I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Aww. I didn't expect it to take 3 hours. I didn't expect it to take 3 hours. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end though, I overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If I penalize you anymore, it will be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Discuss the show. You can't shake me off that easily. I'm so glad that I work at home on Thursday. That I still can do 3 hours sleep. I know next week at least gonna be fun. A new game. Billy? Who's Billy? No, stop. Put up off that microphone. But I actually need to go. Because 3 hours have passed, I need to shave, I want to take a shower. Because I feel tired. And a non-internship day. No, get that thing out of my face, I don't want to see it. No, don't get it out of my face. So I'm gonna say, thanks for watching. I'll be back next Saturday with Project Diva and next Wednesday with Metro Exodus at least. And I broke down. I will be back Saturday with the Project Sakai teamed Making Mix Plus at least. And for next week Wednesday Metro Exodus, if you're looking forward for that, I'll be live around the same time. So 3 hours ago. What is it? Can't you see I'm banging my shoulder with a steak lunch partner? Mr. Summer is just sneak this into me. She's seen one of the guards, as it seems. Oh, cowboy, it looks like you did it. Even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and again get their water? So, I'll be saying all thanks for watching. I'll be all back next Saturday. Until then, have a wonderful day, nice week, and stay